flag doesn't change the entire picture, but as you continue to aggressively enforce them, it becomes a culture change.
We are learning, and we haven't compromised the
Even if I don't want to have that, I'm still like this invincible kid that wants to go back and shoot at more people and have them shoot at me.
It's a crazy game.
It's a crazy game. In Afghanistan, I remember one time we were called down to a mission to go do something. You know, someone's getting overran or someone's in some serious trouble. I remember the feeling of that. The sense of urgency, the excitement for like, what are we going to be put into? What if it's just like an all-out battle? And that was exciting to think about. Like, it's complete madness. But when we were in it, that's the only way we could have thought.
The worst I felt, it was in Libya. We were walking in the desert and the straight road. And there was this bunch of guys shooting mortars, not far, like 20, 25 meters, wow. 50. We were going to run, and then we saw the machine guns shooting from the other side. And the fire was coming closer, like Jesus. You couldn't even move, and that was like for 2 minutes. Yeah. 2 minutes, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a long time. You feel like scared, but you feel excited too.
Yeah. I read this quote from George Washington. He was in his first firefight. They ambushed some French soldiers who were scouting the frontier, and they lost a bunch of guys, but they beat the French. And he wrote a letter afterwards, and he said, I heard the bullets whistle by me, and I have to admit it was a charming sound. The father of the nation. He had his first firefight, and he fell in love.
George Washington.
Yeah. Look at this, man. Imagine walking through this now. Can you imagine? It's an amazing trip that would be. There's not even any fencing off the railroad.
Yes, that's checking out the next story. We need to do it. We gotta find this footage sometime in the future, after the world has changed.
By the time I'd found this footage, the world had changed. Tim was dead. We were both reporters, and he was killed in Libya while covering the Civil War. I still made the trip we'd planned, but I went with Guillermo, a photographer who'd actually been holding Tim's hand when he died, and with Brendan and Dave, 2 soldiers Tim and I had known in Afghanistan. The 4 of us would set out from Washington, D.C. and walk north in a kind of high-speed vagrancy right up the East Coast. We'd all seen a lot of combat, we'd all lost close friends, and we were all trying to come home. I thought a 300-mile walk might help.
You guys sleep okay?
No.
Did you wake up every time a train came through?
I was probably up for most of it.
I didn't know you could go to New York from D.C. on an Acela at 2 a.m. That's news to me.
And Brendan was like standing over me, staring at me, and that made me pass out.
What happens with me is I have to think things through before I sleep. And it took all night for me to think it through. And it normally happens that way.
What were you thinking through?
my alcoholism.
Funny place to wake up at age 50. Right here.
Normally, if you were 50 and you woke up here, it'd be a really bad, sad story. Yeah. Start panhandling somewhere or something.
Support fire from the base right down there.
You know what the clearance on those trains are? On the track, and if you could lay between the two rails.
You might get peeled off your back by the winds and just slammed into the undercarriage.
What's that? You trying to go on the house down there? The white house with the green shutters? Yeah, sure. Probably Hellfire.
Hard.
That's what this will feel like tonight. The train's gonna go by and then we're gonna wake up at 2 o'clock.
None of us were going back to war again, or so I thought. The idea was to take a series of trips throughout the course of a year, walking through every season, starting in Washington, D.C., and just heading north. We would bring my dog, Daisy, for company and protection, and a cameraman to record our experiences. And while we were moving through America, we would have a 300-mile conversation about war. About what it does to you, about how it changes you, and about why you miss it. Why it's so hard to come back from war and re-enter society. We wanted to walk along the railroad lines whenever possible. Rail lines go straight through everything. They go right through the ghetto, right through the suburbs, through the farms and the forests. You see the backs of the houses, the backs of the factories. And walking on Amtrak property is completely illegal, so we would have to move fast and stay out of sight. That might feel a little like we were on a military operation, I thought. That might feel like we were back behind enemy lines.
Good eyes, dude. See anybody up there anymore?
Nobody's hooking up there.
Oh, we should be to the left of that first building. I saw him walk up that way.
Yeah, you might have left the platforms.
I think we have an Amtrak cop. Yep, we're gonna take care of it. We ain't walking on the railroad tracks. Can't be anywhere close to these trucks. Those are trespassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we pop off and walk along the road? Like, can
You have to be off of Amtrak property.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah, but the way you are right there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We got people killed all the time. So.
Really?
Yeah, they go by at 120, 150 miles an hour in some spots.
Thanks for being nice about it.
Okay.
We have to get past the Amtrak service yard right there. There's a little culvert, like a trench line or something. I think we can just walk in that. You having a good time?
Everything hurts. Everything. I'm 43. You know,
You hungry, thirsty?
everything. Hungry, thirsty, hurt, sad, everything.
Where would you rather be right now?
In a beach in Indonesia,
But oh well.
something like that. When I started doing the last patrol, I was kind of close to myself when Tim was killed. When I saw him dying, I was really traumatized with that. I didn't want to be part of a group. I was just trying to hide. But I thought it's a great opportunity to take pictures around in America, which for me is good. So I wanted to do a story about America, and I started to realize that was a story about our inside. I think we are related in some trauma that make us go to war, because I think it was like an addiction. Walking in the last patrol, I realized I had a problem, and the result was that I ended up with 3 guys with the same problem I had.
I never get across this.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Well,
We saw your bikini ad. We were like,
Just I got the red, white, and blue on today, right?
This guy's a vet, and so is he.
Thank you. I work at the old soldiers' home in D.C.
Do you really?
What a wonderful place.
Oh wow.
Now I see these veterans, 92-year-old men, and their whole mindset is completely different. When I'm in that world, it's different than out of this world. It's a unity, it's a bonding, it's let's take care of each other. And then I come back out here and it's not out here.
No.
But what's your journey about? Tell me about that.
Well, my colleague and I were going to do this walk along the Amtrak line, along the rail corridor, just to meet America, and he was British. And then he got killed in Libya. And so I thought I would do that same trip. And we're doing it along the rail corridor because railroad lines go through everything. You mean everything.
Yep.
Just goes straight through.
And that's it, right back there.
Well,
and that's the train that Barack came in when he went to D.C., the same train that Lincoln followed.
Really?
Yeah, we were all out here
Yeah.
waiting. You could tell he was coming. There was cops all over the bridge. So
Really?
yeah, oh yeah. You knew his train was coming through, and it did. It was pretty cool. Well, I wish you all the best of luck, really.
Thank you.
Got a wonderful day today.
Thank you.
Don't get too hot. Stay
Yeah.
drinking.
Frank, guys. Frank.
What was the last time you were in combat? When was the last time someone shot at you?
I think at the beginning or in 10.
Did you miss that?
No, not so much. What I liked about Afghanistan, what I would miss is the troops, the bullshit,
The this.
Huh?
The this.
This. I mean, this is, you just sit here and, there's stars.
Guillermo, have you covered war since Tim got killed? Have you covered any conflict?
no.
No.
It was really a shock for me seeing him lying on my legs, And when that happened, I've been already like 3 years non-stop in the war.
Yeah, after Tim died, immediately, like that day, I just decided I was going to stop covering war.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad other journalists do it because I think these things need to be covered, but it just depresses me.
You ever think, too, that it's kind of interesting, but like we wouldn't be here right now if Tim wouldn't have been killed.
Yeah, that's right.
Safe to say. I mean,
Well, you know, I
You
would.
probably wouldn't be. You'd
Yeah, no,
probably
no,
be
no.
in.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So when are you getting out of the service?
April.
Wow, in less than a year.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be weird.
yeah. I've never looked for a job
You've never looked for a job.
ever. And then buying clothes, I
Yeah.
think will be a little weird because really, other than going to church on Sunday, I pretty much just wear the same thing every day.
Yeah.
But I would say that I won't miss like the Army
Yeah.
in a big. It's been good. They've given me every single thing I have, but I won't miss it. The institution. I don't know. I guess I look at America that I live. I live in a bubble, and it's a pretty happy bubble.
You joined up before 9/11.
1993.
Why did you join the Army?
Why?
Yeah.
For college money. Straight up. 2 years I joined, and then I liked it, so I stayed in.
It was a peacetime Army, basically. Peacetime.
Yeah, but we deployed right away after 9/11.
Did you think, oh my God, I'm in a wartime Army?
No, I think everyone was a bit excited. At that time I had been in 8 years. It's like practicing for the dance, and now all of a sudden you see a billboard that says dance tonight. You want to get in it.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna find. Now I don't know about no law. I don't see no crime. There ain't no reason.
One thing I just wanted to tell you, when the trains go by, they report people on the railroad now. So more than likely they'll be sending the Amtrak police out to find out who's out here. Because ever since all that mess that caused you guys to go over there, they've been stepping up security and they've been putting gates up everywhere. But rates are supposed to run everybody off.
See by the way of the woman, the way of the gun. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't wait to see them all gone. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't wait to see them all gone.
Daisy, come here. You want to take a swim? You're fine?
Come on. Come on, that's good.
I think we just waited.
My dad passed away 3 years ago, and for most of our life, I hated him. My dad was an alcoholic, and I was a bad kid. Me and my father fought and fought and fought and fought and fought. And it ended up escalating to one night where we were fighting so bad that he shot me twice. And then I lied to the police, saying that he had no choice. And I went to juvenile detention for a year because of it. You never got a thank you, never got a pat on the back, never thank you for doing what you did. But when I came out of lockup, I was a better person. I believe the day he shot me might have been the turning point in my life. Maybe the thing that saved me.
Daisy was my pillow all night long. Check it out. She doesn't care. She likes it. It's a heated pillow.
It's a furry pillow.
If you could buy that at Walmart, people would buy it.
The dog ass pillow. As seen on TV. The dog ass pillow changed my life. Thanks, dog ass pillow.
Last night sucked a lot.
Actually, dude, this is what I want to do for the rest of my fucking life.
This is it, right? You found it?
This is it.
You got it now?
Yup. Problems in my life solved. Just one night out in the wilderness, I'm gonna install sprinklers inside my house
Just leave them on.
and put a tarp up.
over your bed.
Yeah.
Guillermo, you know, if you were with a woman, you wouldn't be here.
Yes, I think that I will be fighting in the hotel room.
Would you rather be fighting in a hotel room with a girlfriend or out here with us on the rain?
Yeah.
You'd rather be here.
Yeah, that's it.
Where do you think it is they want it?
They want to piss us off. All the time. What do you think about that? Do you think the same?
I think they want closeness, and we don't always want closeness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to sleep in the rain under a tarp.
Sometimes.
All the time. So are we gonna cook breakfast in this shit, or are we gonna just start walking?
I say we start walking. I want some coffee. I say we do make some coffee though, right?
It's like milking a huge camouflage cow. What's the most scared you've ever been, Guillermo?
In Chad, when these guys took me for a few days and beat me, I didn't know what was going to happen. I think the most scary thing is when someone takes control of yourself. Like someone takes you and puts you in a place and you are just controlled by them, you know, and you don't know what is going to happen. More than bullets and I don't know, that's you can run away or whatever.
Did you make peace with the fact that you were gonna die?
No.
You had time to think about it. Did you get yourself?
Peace?
I had that once in Sierra Leone. We were stopped at a rebel checkpoint, and they just cocked their guns, started screaming, and they were arguing with themselves about whether to kill us. And that went on for about 15 minutes, and I really just thought this is it, like 50-50, they're gonna shoot all of us. And I just went numb. You ever think you were gonna die?
No. I know.
No, you've never been in a situation.
Or it's just like hopeless. Or you just feel it.
That day when the wall broke up in front of me, it was my scariest moment. Because I knew it was bad when we got off that hill. We were walking on that road and there was nothing to hide behind. I hit the ground, you know, all this, that first processing happened. And then I bounced back up and I started shooting again because I was pissed. And it was all over like that. And then Steiner got shot in the head. And then I went crazy. Like in my head, like something snapped. Because it was my soldier. And someone said he got shot in the head. And Mac ran past me and he was laughing. I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing about? He was like, Steiner's okay. And it didn't make me feel any better. It was only the second time I cried in Afghanistan.
In the firefight?
No, that night.
And what were you crying about specifically?
No control. I told those guys that they would be okay, and it doesn't. You have no control in combat. After that, I stopped listening to my lieutenant. That's when I stopped listening to orders that were going to get my men killed.
But what would happen if 5 people would think that way inside of a platoon?
I'm not.
No, I'm just wondering.
I'm talking
It's
about
interesting.
leaders. I'm
Leaders.
talking about leaders. I'm
Yeah,
talking
but-
about leaders
being
You've got
leaders and saying this is good for my men and this is bad for my men. I got some experience in knowing how to when and where to walk, and I know that down that road, my friends have been killed before. I know Doc Cannon was killed down there. I know a bunch of guys that were shot down there.
Yeah. But now, if you look in the big picture, if everybody did, now you've got anarchy, chaos, and
Well, I think you're misconstruing what I did. I stopped listening to orders that were going to get my men killed.
but when you
let me
look
just
at
talk.
it,
Let me finish my sentence. And after that, after I stopped listening to the orders that were going to get my men killed, I felt better, and that's when I took my power back, and that's when I became less fearful.
but can you know which ones will get them killed and which ones won't?
Walking on a road in the middle of the day is going to get my men killed.
We can argue it all day long. Ultimately, we take orders.
Yeah.
It blows, but that's exactly what we do. I certainly am one to voice my opinion, but at the end of the day,
When I came back from Luang Prabang, I didn't have a thing where my balls used to hang, but I had a wooden medal and a finer rank. Now I'm a fucking hero. Mourn your dead land of the free. You wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead land of the free. You wanna be a hero, follow me. And now the boys all envy me. I fought for Christian democracy with nothing but air where my balls used to be. Now I'm a fucking hero. Bang for bang, there is a spot where the corpses of your brothers rot. And every corpse is a patriot. Every corpse is a hero. Mourn your dead land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me.
I first went to war when I was 30. I went to Bosnia. And I went partly because I was searching for a career, and war reporters seemed kind of interesting and exciting and romantic. But really, I went because I felt like I wasn't a man yet. I felt like I'd never been tested in any real way, and that if I went to war, it would change me and make me strong and mature me in a way that I wanted to have happen. And that worked. Eventually, over the course of 18 years or so, I feel like my experiences in war helped turn me into the person I wanted to be. That's what I understand about war, is that it has the power to do that while it has the power to also destroy you.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
How far is downtown Baltimore?
Where you going? Harbor Place?
Well, just downtown.
Go straight out this road here. You're gonna have to go back over to Russell Street and cross over.
Okay. What do you think, 4 or 5 miles, something like that?
Old man like me used to walk about 20 minutes from here.
Okay, so right there.
Yeah.
these guys are combat vets, and they're coming home to this country. I was with them out in Afghanistan as a journalist, and they were just trying to get to know our country again. So, how do you think the country's doing right now?
To me, not that well. For the small man, anyway. Well, it ain't never been that great for the small man, but like now it seems to be worse. I think right now a lot of crime is up, but people are hungry. You know, you get hungry, you can take stuff. Just that simple. It ain't hard to figure out. You know, just bring a job. I mean, come on, you know, everybody get the feds. Why take it? I got it. You know, if you don't have people, you know, man, gotta provide for the families, themselves, and it's just gonna be that way.
Dad, we gotta go. We gotta go to church today.
I haven't been to church since my babysitter took me to church when I was about 6.
6 years old?
Something like that.
That's incredible.
Just happened. Did you set me up? You mean that you would send a prophet to bless me, to feed me, to take care of me and my son, only to allow my son to die? What trick do you have? What is this? Many of you look and say, we shouldn't question God. But when you're hurting, you ain't thinking of nothing like that. Y'all can't go holy and pious all you want, like you never questioned God. But you start saying, why did you do this to me? Listen, Pastor, I've had death interrupt my family. And I don't want to question him, but I try to deal with, God, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm a pastor, but I don't understand. God says it's not for you to understand. Can you just trust me?
What did you see I slept through it. What did you see last night?
I saw a helicopter flying above us. I saw it go up the track with the light, and then I heard a bunch of sirens, and they get louder and louder and louder, and then the helicopter came back along the tracks. I was like, we're fucked.
Well, it's not that reassuring that we slipped through their safety net.
I mean, it missed us by probably 100 meters, that light. You guys want to do a group hug?
No, this morning? I'll take it.
Come on.
No, I'm good.
Come on, dude. Yeah, come here.
And we're doing one of those Arab.
No. We're doing this.
You ain't got one. I think I kept on going to work with an obsession because I had some trauma from my childhood with my father, you know. My father deals with war. He sells arms in a legal way, but he sells war. And since I was a kid, I was against that. I remember I used to tell him, like, what are you doing? But he thought I was stupid. After we started the last patrol, I told my father maybe I go to Syria because my addiction made me, I should go, you know. And he told me, stop doing that bullshit job you have, taking pictures of war. And I say, if I choose to do that, you should respect me because what you do is bullshit too, because you are selling guns. But I realized that to go to war, it's like a way of trying to show my father that I can do something good in life, you know.
This looks grim. That's too far to swim. There's boats all the way down there. It's just his private property to get on them. That house with 8 pickup trucks in front of it, that might be a good one for you two guys. Just play the vet card.
And we're just trying to get across the bay, and we were wondering if you knew how to.
You can get across there.
No. Why is that?
No way to get across.
Boat wise, like if someone would take us over.
I don't have a boat in the water right now.
Maybe they have an idea of someone that could get us across the boat. I'm smart.
You're smart.
Is she okay, Sebastian?
So you're in the bee business. How does that work?
Very carefully.
Very carefully.
Every time you pick up a magazine or a book or something, or television, they're saying that the bees are dying, right? Which they are. They just now found out the reason why they're dying. We're going to be the next species that dies behind them. You know why?
Tell me.
Pesticides. What made you guys decide to do this?
We just wanted to see what would happen, you know?
I mean, what's the purpose of it?
Just to get to know America again and to decompress a little bit from the war. What do you think about America? Are we in a good place right now or not?
We're having trouble.
Yeah?
Big trouble. You'd say coming. Yeah. Real big trouble.
Why is that?
We gotta get that president out of there. Yeah. We definitely do. I think if he keeps on going, it's gonna be a civil war. Yeah. I really do. Something has got to give somewhere. Yeah.
We should probably keep on with our march. We're hoping to try to get some kind person to take us across that estuary in a boat. Think that's at all possible?
Not really from the ocean line.
No!
Oh,
Hey!
oh.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Hurry up! Hey, grab my bag! Hey, we gotta rush if we're gonna get this. We gotta go to work.
My hat's off to all you guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. If you didn't stay military, man, I wouldn't be doing this. Really. The country seems pretty divided right now. I hope it heals itself, because that's not...
It is very divided.
Right?
Yeah. It's almost as different as women and men are. Two sides in America. It is.
I feel that we lost our way, that what made us great.
What made us great?
everybody wanting to work, making all the money they get, they made through hard work, not sitting there expecting the government to take care of them. And I think there's a lot of that going on right now.
Look at back there again. What's the work you do? I know you have to get to work today, so.
It's construction, waterproof foundations. Just go out there and spray asphalt.
Brandon, what's the thing you like most about women?
They keep me in line. You know, my wife keeps me in line. Shit, you know, without a wife, without Liz, shit, I'd be out here every day. I would be a bum.
You know, it's just, it kind of completes a person in a way. Guys tend to wander, and sometimes you shouldn't wander, and I say that's what my wife does. It's kind of like my compass man. So kind of same as Brendan a little bit. No.
Yeah, well, what's the thing you like most about women?
Everything. Of course, everything.
What? Everything?
Yeah, everything. But they're a little bit crazy, that's the only thing. But yeah, I like everything.
Have women gotten upset with you in your life at all?
Yeah, many times.
If I was an upset woman, if I was really upset, what would you be doing right now?
I would say like, come on, don't think about it. Relax.
What do you think, Dave? How's it going today?
He's moved good. No complaints today. It's nice. I'm ready for a night.
I know.
Maybe move under dark a little.
I don't know what
Possibly. We'll see how guys feel. Coming home for some soldiers is difficult because when we're deployed, you know, you're living next to your closest buddies. You wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth in the sink next to them, and then you go eat breakfast, and then you go patrol. There's a lot of unspoken communication amongst those groups. There's a lot of understanding, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're by yourself. It's comforting to live in a group, and when that's gone, it can be a very difficult adjustment to make. And they're expecting when they get home, everything is going to be great. Everybody's gonna, you know, love to see them, and that's partially true, but if you had problems before, all the war is going to do is put those problems off. Most soldiers you see that have problems when they return also had problems before they deployed.
Watch out, there's a dog in the road. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, God.
Deal with death well, man. I don't deal with that. Like, that's not a good thing for me to see ever. Like, ever. I don't want to see it. And I don't know. Fuck, man. I just.
That was a harsh thing.
My brain doesn't work well to see those things coming.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the dog suffered, you know. I mean, imagine how knocked out it was when it got hit by the car.
Didn't sound like that.
Well, I mean, it was in shock. It was howling and it died, kind of, you know.
Fuck, what is... I mean, like...
did the right thing. You got out of there.
Yeah, like a fucking girl just took off running.
That was good. That was good. I just chased you to make sure you're all right.
You don't know, you don't care. It's amazing. You just want your stick. Completely oblivious. Aren't you? You think if anybody should be really upset, it should be you. What lingers is the major question for tonight.
What?
What's more messed up? If it didn't bother you seeing the dog get hit, or if it did?
I think America is a really amazing country in a way that you have a lot of freedom for growing yourself or making business or do a family or whatever. But it's a lot of sadness also in America. It's a lot of problems, and we, in this trip, we have seen that. We have seen a lot of people with problems, which are all over the world, but in America, I think the people is so individual. In other countries, you see people helping to each other, so people, when they have a problem, they feel better because the neighbor is helping. In America, I'm sure that happens, but less. And you can tell that in the faces of the people. Something there that you can tell is making them suffer.
Just walking around the country, you see what it looks like?
No kidding.
Yeah, we walked from D.C.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, we're sleeping outside and just meeting people
Get
like
out
you.
of here.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. That's great.
We're trying to figure out what the best thing about America is. What do you think? What do you think's the best thing about this country?
That you're free. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, man. Freedom of religion.
Yeah.
It's free. Free country.
Best thing about America?
Yeah.
I gotta Google it first. Sorry. Best thing about America is. You tell me, what's the best thing about America?
I don't know. That's why we're walking. We're trying to figure it out.
Ain't nothing good around here. I don't know why y'all walking through here.
We heard Chester's a pretty tough town, but people have been really friendly.
Yeah, I'm nice. You can find a couple nice people if you look.
We found nothing but nice people so far.
It's only what you make it. That's all.
Yeah.
It's only what you make it.
Being that I am an American and I'm a Vietnam veteran, I think the best thing about America is that you do have a freedom of choice. You have a choice, you understand what I'm saying? Whether you agree with all the things that America stands for or whether you don't, which I don't agree with everything America stands for. But I don't disagree with everything America represents. But I think the best thing about America is that you do have a choice.
What do you think of our president now?
I love Barack Obama. I wish he was more forceful in trying to get his message across. I wish he was more forceful in trying to deal with the Republicans. I wish he was more forceful, and I wish he would get mad sometimes. I wish he'd get angry. I wish he would get angry sometimes.
Why do you think he doesn't?
I don't know.
Can I be frank?
Yeah, please be.
I'm talking real frank.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Nigga, fuck it. You know what I'm talking about? It's going to fuck them right here, man. This Baldwin Avenue needs to be $1 million fucking business. To the fucking niggas start coming around here. Excuse me when I say, I don't give a fuck. You gonna keep real? Keep it the fuck real. Smoking that shit, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Fucking the whole joint out of it. Everything in this neighborhood never been touched. This garden has never been touched. Ain't no young boys coming there, vandalizing it. You know why? Because we respect our block. If any outsider come in this motherfucking neighborhood with that dumb ass shit, nigga, trust me, that's your ass.
time to get up. You won't believe how awesome it is out here.
The army bunch is bullshit. I will bring a piece of plastic, you know. This is not very bad. Are all the army products like this? Like bad?
I think I'm gonna brush my teeth today just for church. I haven't brushed my teeth since Wilmington.
Vietnam.
It's Vietnam. I haven't brushed my teeth since Vietnam.
Oh, and I am fucking blistered.
Oh, did you?
I had no idea that that could happen.
You know,
like
we were
that.
talking, me and Brendan, how like really truly fragile an infantryman is, like a compass. If you broke it, you could be done. A hemorrhoid, prickly heat.
Yeah.
And prickly heat is
Monkey butt?
Monkey butt.
monkey butt. I mean, you can really be made ineffective.
Yeah.
You might be there, but your mind's not going to be in it.
No.
You'll be hurt. I mean, you'll just be like,
Who are we, really? Are our souls shaped? Our fates written in full by God before we even draw our first breath? Do we make ourselves by the choices we ourselves make? Or are we clay that is merely molded and pushed into shapes that our betters purpose for us? The question will require us to reason our way through a thicket of ideas. Free will and determinism, fate and destiny, choice and election. Who are we really? I want to talk today about Psalm 139. It's a poem in the Bible, and it tells us that God knows us even before we are born, right? And even before our first picture, right? So God knows you very well right now and loves you and knows how many hairs are on your head and knows what you're thinking, right? And what you're going to do.
What's the best thing about America, in your opinion?
I think I have to say what I would have said in my childhood, and I've always believed, opportunity.
To me, what makes us great is always how we care for those who don't have the opportunities. And I worry that in ways we don't even know down here on the ground, that there are rules being made that X them out of possibility.
Yeah, airborne infantry.
Pardon me?
Airborne infantry.
Okay.
So I jumped out from the stuff like that. Yeah, but it was good. It was good. I miss it.
But I would think that it would be very hard to come back for a lot of guys to this country where some people don't even know there's a war going on.
Go behind.
So we have about 4 miles. Nice easy day. Nice easy beginning. I wish Dave was with us.
Yeah. It feels like almost like a mission without a company without their first sergeant, you know?
Yeah. I miss his weird wisdom about things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like he had a really good way of figuring out what we should do.
Yeah.
You know, he really was smart in his way. He was very smart about things.
I left the last patrol and went back to Afghanistan because I missed it. I miss soldiers and little things like the planning of an operation, watching a squad leader maneuver his men. Not being able to finish the last patrol was quite hard. You don't want to be the guy that takes a day off of a patrol just in case something would happen that day. But there's still plenty of fighting. There's still plenty of bad guys. And this is what I do to pay bills. I have to choose one or the other. And I gotta do priority one family. I think I'll always say I'm not going back. But I don't think it's the reality. We'll all go back at some point, I think.
There's a car up there along the tracks. I'm just gonna make sure it's not a cop. There's no lights on the roof anyway. It's nice being on the wrong side of the law again. You know, just slightly.
Yeah, it's good feeling.
Why is it that getting away with something feels better than not trying to get away with something? Why is that?
Because we need something in our lives to make us, our blood go a little bit.
Man, I was camping in West Virginia. And I was up on this ridge, and down below at the bend in this river was a little campground. There was no one there, but some park rangers, like driving around in their trucks. I was maybe 1,000 feet up, and I was looking at them with binoculars. I was above them, and they didn't know I was there. What is it about that that makes you want to attack them? You know what I mean? I just wanted to attack them.
It's a very primal thing, man.
Totally primal. It's like other men you don't know below you, and they don't know you're there. Kill.
And they could be a threat. They could not be a threat.
But they definitely won't be a threat if you kill them.
It's nice to come out here again. It's like easy, you know, sort of like combat. It's like sort of a bare essential existence, and I like that sort of style of life. You know, where you could just worry about the very small things. You know, I'm not worried about drinking out here. I'm not worried about what my wife and I are going to do with the rest of our lives. I'm not worried about anything like that. I'm just worried about just getting from here to Lancaster and maybe to Harrisburg, and after that, who knows, you know? That's the only thing I'm caring about right now. So that's really peaceful in my head when I get to do that.
I met Brendan when I was in Afghanistan with American soldiers. We were at a remote outpost called Restrepo. And out there I knew him as an incredibly effective soldier. He was a team leader, incredibly focused. And then he comes home to the United States and he's a mess. Drank way too much, very self-destructive. But when we started doing the last patrol, all of a sudden I would see the old Brendan that I remembered from Afghanistan. There's a lot of small, miserable tasks to do when you're living outside, pumping water out of a creek, building a fire, putting up the tarps, and after walking all day, you don't want to do those things. Brendan was always the guy who would jump up and do what needed to be done. Sometimes it was running up a hill to see if there was a good place to sleep at the top of a hill. Was there water up ahead? Just so that not everyone would have to walk that distance, he would run it and then come back. And that's the Brendan that I remembered from Afghanistan, and that's what came out during the patrol. He clearly also himself felt that he was at his best when he was out here. I remember one time we ended the trip a little early, and he was incredibly upset about it because he just didn't want to go home.
Right there.
Hey there.
We heard someone shooting. Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just doing a little trapping.
What? Can I ask what how that pole works?
Yeah. This is if you get one in the trap, like catch a cat or anything like that, then you just loose it up. That way you can let them go. I already let 2 cats go.
We've been asking people what's the best thing about America.
Well, I ain't got too much faith in the government, but there's too many taxes. But other than that, it's nice. It really is. It's free. I mean, you're free. You take this trail across there, you see a trail that cuts down to the railroad. Don't take that. I got 3 traps sitting there, and I don't want the dog getting caught.
And this water, we've been drinking this water. Is that right?
Yes.
It's the best.
You can drink it straight out of the creek, right?
You ain't after. You ain't got sick yet, did you?
No. That's it.
You gotta pick a bad time of year, though. Didn't you? You're supposed to get snow tonight.
Are we getting snow?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Daisy. Oh, Daisy. See the snow?
Do I see the snow?
Yeah. Oh, Daisy, stop it. No. What's with the stupid jacket?
Who put that stupid jacket on you?
Oh. You look like it's after the apocalypse. In a world without gasoline, without flowers, and without women, 4 men and a dog journey northwards, or was it westwards? It makes her look sort of bow-legged. You know what I mean? She looks like an old man.
Look how badass she looks when she's running back over.
Right? look at her. My father was a physicist.
And what?
He's a physicist.
Your father?
He figured out how the world worked. My father taught me that the world is understandable in physical terms. It's not a big mystery, it's understandable. Some of it's a mystery, but they're working on it.
Didn't he tell you that the world is a piece of shit?
No, that's the human part of it. The physical world is doing fine. He said if you can measure things and you can think critically, you can understand the world. So that's what I started doing. And he was an atheist because he couldn't measure it. He couldn't measure God, and he couldn't think critically about it, so he didn't believe in God. My father died right before the last patrol started, a few weeks before we set off on our first walk. I was holding his hand when he died. He grew up in Europe, and he was very, very smart. He lived completely in his head, completely disconnected from his body, and his body punished him by not doing very well. I saw my father debilitated by arthritis and asthma and all these physical ailments. He had absolutely no capacity to take care of himself physically. As a kid, I completely disavowed any kind of dependency like that. The answer that I came up with was to make my life physically as hard as I possibly could. My whole life was an attempt to show that I could endure anything. I could sleep outside in a blanket on a winter night and not freeze to death. I became a long-distance runner. I could run all day and all night if I had to. I didn't need food, I didn't need water. I was completely invulnerable. My ideal was that I would be able to walk off into the woods with a knife in my back pocket and survive in the woods without any help for an indefinite amount of time and then come back and I'd be okay. And somehow, if I was able to do that, then I would feel safe and happy in my life.
Sebastian, for me, is the lost of the group. He's lost, trying to find himself, trying to follow directions from Dave because you're lost.
We're string guitar pop right here. Slope that way.
Trying to follow directions from me in a way when talking about women because you're lost. Like the lost kid of the group.
From here to here.
The lost kid who is the oldest in the family, who tried to take care of the other kids. For me, lost people, I like lost people because I've been lost all my life.
Throwing TVs around. Like full-blown panic attack. That could find my car.
I quit drinking 17 years ago.
Do you think you'd be alive right now if you had?
No. Probably I'd be dead 15 years ago. I was very close to death. I was sleeping on the streets. The police would wake me up, you know. Sometimes stealing, sometimes selling drugs. I'd probably be dead. For sure. Yeah, I even tried to kill myself a couple of times, you know, when I was having those problems. You're crazy. I mean, it's a mental disease.
You know what I've been asking people recently, just out of curiosity? What I've been asking people is, what's it mean to be a man? What's that mean when people say, come on, be a man? What are they talking about? What's that mean?
I think what that's saying is basically to me is face your problems and don't run from them, whether it sucks or not.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think it would mean being less concerned about what happens to you and more concerned about what happens to people you care about. You know, in Aurora, Colorado, there's cinema, right? This kid walked in there with a shotgun and a rifle, killed 16 people, something like that. And 3 young men died because they stepped in front of their girlfriends to protect them, and they got shot. So you could say that's being a man. Like, that guy's thinking, I'm less concerned about what happens to me than what happens to her, so I'm gonna stand there.
But if you say that, right? What about that woman in the school in Sandy Hook who was found covering those children?
Yeah.
Is that a man?
Well, you know what I think happens? I think men protect women and women protect children. Like in the theater, not one woman stepped in front of a man, because that's not their job. But I bet there were women who saved children in that theater. You know what I'm saying? I asked a friend of mine, a woman, I said, if there was a shooting like in Aurora, anything dangerous, anything, and you were with your boyfriend, and he stepped and got behind you, what would happen in the relationship? And she said, I would break up with him immediately. Done.
Some men can't go to combat?
Yeah. So combat can't make you a man.
I think what is really brave, what is really tough in this world, is to get the car every day at 7 in the morning, go to the same work, do what you have to do to feed your children, go back home, deal with that, deal with your wife, make them happy, and try to be yourself happy. That's, for me, the toughest thing to do for anyone, you know?
Everything's fucking tough. Life is tough, you know? No matter if you're getting shot at or getting in an argument with your wife every day, you know?
Getting shot at, getting yelled at.
Yeah.
Which is harder?
Learning that role that you have to provide society. Listen. A man is knowing the sense of what your role in society is and then fucking doing it.
military. My dad lived in an apartment above me. And I was really lost, and I didn't know what to do. I was depressed. I couldn't get a job. I wasn't showering. I wasn't eating. I was a really terrible mess. Every night, I would go up and talk to him. And he never gave opinions. He never gave advice. He never said, hey, this is what you should think. As drunk as I was, he just let me tell my story. Just let me get this terribleness out of my heart. And my dad, whatever may have happened when I was a kid, he saved my life when I was 24. Just letting me get it out. He saved my life. And then he died. A lot of people ask me, how could you still love your father after him shooting you? But he was just doing the best he could. He sucked. He sucked at being a father. But it doesn't take away from him as a human being. My dad really fucked me over in life. I'm an alcoholic. I'm all these different things because of that. I'm also alive.
Here it goes. What are we doing? Top of the hill. Alright, come on, you got a fucking head start. I'm carrying more of this motherfucker. Oh, you're carrying more? I'm carrying more, asshole. I'm twice your age.
You guys up for a good walk today? You guys up for walking twice what we did yesterday?
Like when we walk a lot, we walk like 20 something, right?
Yeah. I'm having another granola bar. I really wish I had a pack of cigarettes. I'm just gonna confess that.
I wish I had a drink.
I can't promise in the next town I'm not getting a pack of cigarettes.
I promise you I'm not going to drink. Not drinking the booze there. You want some?
Walk that we've been doing, do you think it's helped at all make the transition from combat reporter to whatever you would call yourself now?
I'm here because I know you because of Tina. And I think about it. I think, why I'm here and this happened and what can I do? It's in your mind. It's otherwise you will go, keep on going and don't remind just being mad. Here makes you face your problem. For me at least. Yeah. I've seen a lot of changes of each of us during this trip, and I think it's great.
You want me to take your pack for a while?
It has been a great opportunity for me to organize my brain, which was kind of messed up.
Well, listen, let me take your pack for a bit, and then you'll feel better, and we'll...
Yeah, but it's heavy to carry too.
I've done it before. I'll just give you a break for an hour.
Okay.
Hey, drink some water.
I did this Christmas, I told with my father, I just make him sit in front of me and just tell him what I feel, in a good way. Not angry, just express him my feelings. Now I feel better with him. And that happened from the last patrol. And I stopped going to work. I thought to go to work was the only way to get high as a photographer, which is kind of an ego thing, you know. It's an addiction to yourself. Now I realize there are a lot of ways to tell stories with your camera in an amazing way, not in a war. So I decided to cover other things, and I'm very happy.
When I was young, war seemed like the answer to a question I didn't dare ask. I spent 20 years covering wars. I was almost killed a few times, and I know any number of people who were shot and wounded, and a couple who were killed. And I finally stopped going to war. And I realize my biggest challenge now is to feel like a worthy person without that steroid injection of good feeling that comes from doing something dangerous and somewhat exceptional. Maybe that really is peacefulness. Maybe that really is maturity. Maybe that really is living a deep life.
Yeah, this wasn't a bad campsite after that. You know, there's a whole cookbook for recipes you could cook in tinfoil in your engine while you're driving. No, I'm serious. What? Yeah, you can wrap shit in tinfoil, put it in your engine, it'll cook it. That's awesome. There's a cookbook for it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And you found this?
Cooking for your car, cooking with your car engine. I'm serious. So if you're stuck somewhere, you don't have a stove, you just turn on the engine for a while. You can bake bread. You can cook eggs.
That's fucking hilarious.
Bacon right over the engine block. Just sizzle it right on the engine block.
That's so stupid. Jesus Christ.
Think of the guy who thought that up. What?
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
What was that guy's life like?
I can tell you a lot about him. We met a few of them along the way here.
You think his wife was tired of his fucking ideas by the end?
Yeah.
Alright, should we get packed up?
No.
As much as I hate to leave our little place in paradise.
We just passed by Paradise.
That's right.
What are you doing?
Just get changed. Sorry.
Go hold your breath.
This is it, America. Sexy as it gets. Just balding, hairy, overweight, carpal tunnel, alcoholism, PTSD,
So, gentlemen, we're at the end of another trip. We did almost 50 miles. And we'll be back here in a couple months.
Yeah.
It'll be hot, the trees will be full of leaves, it'll be really easy to hide. Go to a couple hours walking, and then we're in Lewiston, and then we're done. All right. Never thought you'd finish a trip in Lewiston, did you?
I never suspected in my life that I was going to be walking.
We made one final trip. I decided to finish at Jumonville Glen in Pennsylvania, where George Washington had his first taste of combat, where he first heard bullets whistle past his head. But we set out during a July heat wave, and within a few days our little group started to fall apart. It was 100 degrees in the shade, and we were walking along an abandoned freight line under the full force of the summer sun. First Daisy collapsed, and then Guillermo gave up, and finally Rudy, our loyal cameraman, got heat stroke and had to stop. On our last day, it was just Brendan and me. Dusk found us in Connellsville on the banks of the Yoyogani River, and I told Brendan my feet were too blistered to go any farther. He offered to take some weight out of my pack, but I shook my head and said the trip was over. Jumonville didn't matter, I realized. Like most battlefields, it was just another spot on a map. Just another piece of ground where blood had been spilled and not much else had changed. The thing about combat is that you finally understand, you truly get how insignificant you are, how random everything is. But you also get something incredibly valuable in return. You get to understand how deeply good it is to be alive.
Train comes along, where's my train? Sister, when my train comes